everyone. So my name is Wu Xiao. You can call me Ling, which is my developer name. So I'm a coder. So like 7 years ago, I started coding on Ethereum. I mean, originally I coded in Solidity, but in the last cycle, I think Ethereum is kind of problems. I mean, they are too fragile and they got controlled by some centralized systems. So now I'm trying to unlock the Bitcoin's potential and see what we can build with this kind of decentralized, the real decentralized systems and the real decentralized infras. So I think for Bitcoins, it's harder we talk about applications and games because usually, I mean, we have different kind of lightning works, we have payment, we have these kind of fantastic ideas to do the mass adoption. But still, I mean, if we really want to reach the mass adoption about the Web3, the really mass adoption about cryptos, we need to think about the applications in some way, at least in some way. Because if we do not have applications, we can only use Bitcoins to store the value. I mean, I can only buy and I can use, and maybe I will become rich, but there will be fewer and fewer people be able to use it because what we really want to do, as we see in the Bitcoin's white paper, is we want to see a e-cash, we want to see a point-to-point cash systems. Okay, so I think, I mean, this is a Bitcoin conference. Of course, everyone who sits here should know the general concept about Bitcoins. So I think I will just jump a little bit. The white paper was discovered like 2008, but the first system, the Genesis block was 2009 in January. And the primary use first is for store of values, transactions, and investment. And I think the next frontier may be leveraging the Bitcoins for more innovation applications or use case like gaming. So if we talk about games on Bitcoins, I mean, this is kind of a niche market, a niche use case, but I still got it. I mean, like in 2012, in April, we first see the kind of the gambling game or the bad games on Bitcoins. It's called Satoshi Dice. So this is very interesting because these games use a method to produce a number between 0 and 6,500 and something like that, and similar to how a random number generator would be used. So if you really play with this game, now it is on BCH. I mean, you can use BCH to play with these games. And you will choose a number. So inside this number, the server will random for a number, but this number will not be viewed. I mean, it will be encrypted, and it will store the hash on the server. And later on, maybe 1 day later, they will give you the exact hash file, and you can double check if the number, the system generated number, is smaller than you predict, then you can get the money. So this service uses a combination of a transaction hash from a regular transaction, blah, 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 use a SHA-2 hash and to do this kind of stuff. So I will show you the image. See, there's kind of this BCH you can scan to play because I just logged in this one yesterday, now it's become BCH. But still, you can see this kind of hash. So this side is for the server seed, and this side is for the server seed planted. And you can double check after this kind of seed is revealed, I mean, maybe 1 day later or 2 days later, because you can double check if the game is fair enough. So this is kind of the first game on Bitcoins. It's very smart. It will not spam on Bitcoin. It will not do any attack or that Bitcoin system to be jammed. But still, you can use the idea of decentralized systems, you can use the idea of cryptographics, and you can play with this kind of gambling game. And it's still working. I mean, if an app is survived for more than 10 years in blockchain systems, this is really kind of amazing stuff. And the second, not games, but applications, I think this is very famous for colored coins. Yoni and Vitalik, they build this kind of things. So colored coins was the idea before Ethereum. So many people think that, okay, maybe colored coins is the idea where Ethereum is come from, and this may be the case, the directions we want to explore on Bitcoins. So colored token is an open source protocol that allows users to represent and manipulate immutable digital resource on top of Bitcoin transactions. And you can make different kind of blocks, you can color it, you can let it represent different kind of non-fungible tokens. And it is commonly used as a meta coins. So if we look back this kind of design philosophy, or if we look back to this kind of techniques, it may be similar to inscriptions in some way. I can show you. Now, I mean, the website is not working. They are full of advertisement. The only thing I can find is GitHub. So this is kind of for the coder stuff. We love to check if they have code, if this is real open source or not. And I double check with the code. The interesting part is only 14 developers follow on this code. I mean, the majority of our friends, they love to buy and they love to see what it can use. But I mean, the front end is not working, just nobody is maintaining it, but still you can see the code. And like only 40 followers, I mean, maybe from 2014 or 15, they still look at the code and it survives. So this is the idea about color tokens. They're trying to let the crypto projects, they can issue their own shares, they can have their own projects, they can do the fundraising for themselves. And this is the color coins. But unfortunately, I think it is funded by Vitalik and also the founder of eTron. I mean, they are all famous people and they know what they are trying to do. But in the end, Vitalik go to Ethereum and they found their own way to do it. And next application, I think it should be inscriptions. So inscriptions is really hype in the last 2 years or 1 year, I think. And they are a powerful way. I mean, somebody think it is a new method to store the image, the videos, the audio, the text, or the code directly on blockchain, similar to NFTs. So if we compare this one to color tokens, I think the one difference is inscriptions start a new standard. I mean, at least they have different ideas about what we see, like the BRC20, the deploy, they have tick, they have max, they have descriptions. So they have their own structures. I mean, the architecture is different from what we see in color token. And I mean, from sets, routes, different kind of this kind of, today maybe it's similar to be Mimi. I mean, this kind of inscription tokens at least create some values, and a lot of people love to trade that. And these systems actually jam the Bitcoins, I think, in the last 2 years. Now, I think the hype is gone. Very few people still trade on that, but still, I mean, they create some new stories about Bitcoins. So this is kind of interesting stuff. If we just look at the tech stuff, you see the technical cycles is also survive in different cycles. I mean, you have investment cycles for Bitcoins. I mean, it's always to reach the top. But for the technical cycles, we will always look back. It's just like what we see even on Ethereum. I mean, I think in like 3 years ago, the NFT is hype again, but actually like in 2017, the first application we see on Ethereum is still CryptoKitties, is still crypto countries or crypto celebrities. I mean, these kind of interesting hot potato NFT games also survive in the next cycle. So this is also for the inscription, also for the tech side. And next what we see is DOBs. Okay, so now let's go to CKB ecosystems. I think CKB is a really nice extension and layer tools which compatible with Bitcoin ecosystems and also do a good extension. So DOBs is a digital objects. It is a non-fungible encrypted assets with its content fully stored on chain and establishing an intrinsic link between the content and values. So these kind of small protocols, we try to build it on CKB, and all the things on this kind of DOBs, I mean, everything is stored on chain. It's different from a smart contract like ERC 721, because for NFT, it is a wrapper. Any address it link with, it is not on chain. I mean, it may be IPFS, it may be AWS servers, because the majority of this kind of monkeys, Azukis, or this kind of stuff are only pictures, but these pictures are not on chain. But for DOBs, every single bytes, they are on chain, and they are fully decentralized, and they get back by Bitcoins. So this is what we think is excited about. And the first DOBs, I think, on CKB is Unicorn and Unicorn DOBs. It's kind of very interesting. I mean, you can see at first it is a box, and you can do something like the blind box, and later on it becomes something similar to root, but everything is on-chain, and they have different kind of characters and traits. And this trait is triggered by user. It's not triggered by some designer. I mean, as a developer, we didn't do this, the whole systems. So how it bursts? So they have a cyber burst, which means each user, they need to trigger the smart contract on CKB. And they will find some time, and this kind of time and space will create this kind of NFTs. I mean, this is kind of interesting. At least they're adding some Chinese, Asia and Chinese philosophy, like Wuxing and sex generation cycle. I can show you. something like that. And also, uniting some Eastern and Western philosophy elements. I mean, they have different characters like water, like lightning, and also they put something like the wood, the earth, and also they have different kind of the age in Chinese way. And also, I mean, this kind of stuff is triggered by the block. It's like the cyberpunk burst of this kind of NFTs. It is triggered by the user, and when the user is sends a message, sends the transactions to the smart contract, it actually makes this kind of DOBs a burn. And then that date, they can get different kind of trades. So this is kind of interesting. And Nervape, okay? Nervape is a multi-chain composable digital objects and built on Bitcoins. And this kind of, I mean, we all see the sponsors, and also, I mean, definitely all our people in our companies love Nervape, and we all buy this kind of Nervape and for a lot. So Nervape is very different. I mean, for the main bodies, it is issued on Bitcoins. I can show you. But you can have some glass, you can have some shirt, you can have some mask. All these stuff is, but based on UT-Chao and based on RGB++, they can make it composable, and it can let the user to customize their combinations. I mean, as a whole, you can see, this is a Nervape. You can get the pieces from the CKB, and you can get the pieces from the Bitcoins. And as a whole, you can have a full Nervape. We also think this kind of experiment and this kind of art is really cool, and we all love that. Finally, I mean, I have 3 more minutes. So what we build is a World3. I mean, we want to do the applications. We want to do the games. We want to let the user. We want to reach mass adoptions. We want to let the user something can play. So we build the next generation autonomous intelligence world. For the tech side, so what is autonomous world? If we go back to the autonomous world Bible, I mean the case for autonomous world, we will see that the world with the blockchain substrate is a kind of the maximum autonomous. So what kind of the world with the blockchain substrate we should use? I think nowadays only Bitcoins is the only decentralized substrate that we should use. I mean, I think Ethereum is a little bit centralized. I think Solana is more centralized, and I think all the other chains they are centralized enough. Even Bitcoins nowadays they face ETFs, they get a great miners, a lot of central banks they are trying to buy it, but still Bitcoins is the only decentralized systems we can rely on. If you want to build something really decentralized, if you want to build some applications that you should trust on, you should use Bitcoins. And what we build a virtual society, we build AI-powered autonomy with source, we build an open network for user-generated contents, and we build it to be a multi-chain ownerships. So I will just show you some pictures. I mean, this kind of stuff, you can already access it, so I do not need to explain more. You can just go to world3.ai. I mean, there's a virtual world you can directly go in. And we have on-chain instance space. I mean, you can launch your own applications and produce contents inside World3. And all the seed, I mean, it is coded, it is encrypted and stored on Bitcoin. And the method we are using is called recursive programming. We iteratively store the AW data on the blockchain and use encryption algorithms to encode the world state of AW world. So, I mean, we will encrypt all the world state and store them on the blockchain. Jump a little bit. The design philosophy is we're building blocks and on the blockchain, and we also use RGB++, and also we use this kind of fancy techniques together, and we want to combine the application side on the Ethereum, on the Bitcoins, and we will use our own protocols to make it happen. Jump a little bit, because this is the application. So I still have 1 more minute to talk about the future. It's very interesting. I think the first mass adoption direction will be payment, I mean, for the Lightning. For myself, I travel many countries around the MENA region. I go to Lebanon, their central bank is bankrupt. Because the central bank is bankrupt, all the MasterCard, you cannot use that. All the Visa, you cannot use that. But, I mean, at the capital, Beirut, there's a basement, there's first-time Web3 meetings there. You can still buy coffee through Bitcoin. I mean, because the central bank is bankrupt, there's no payment method you can use. There's no Visa card you can use, but you can still use Bitcoins to pay your coffee. So this is exactly already happened. For some countries, they are developed. I mean, last month I was in Iraq. Although I got robbed, but I mean, the infrastructure is kind of, I mean, in Iraq, you can expect sometimes it's not that safe, to be honest. But I still teach people how to code there. And yeah, for some place you can still use the Web3 payments to do it. So this is kind of exciting. I mean, this not only Lightning Network, but also for all the Web3 infras, they are used for the developed countries. This is very important because a lot of suppliers and a lot of enterprise will charge you a lot of money to do the payments, but Bitcoins, but all the Web3 infras, they are free. They are free for the people. They are free for the community. They really help these kind of developed countries. The second thing we're thinking is interesting is about the blockchain. I mean, now Bitcoin is the only decentralized blockchain substrate. So we should try to build something to reach mass adoptions. We should try to build something about applications. We should build something about games. I mean, rely on Bitcoins. That will make our application can survive in the cycles. And yeah, in the future, definitely we need a depth in the Bitcoin ecosystems. If not, I mean, Bitcoins will not reach mass adoption from my point of view. We still need a lot of hard working to make dApps happen inside Bitcoins. Thank you.